Growing up in a run-of-the-mill Midwestern suburb, I always longed for the dynamic and exciting lifestyle of a big city. And when I moved to Boston to begin college, that's the exact experience I began to have. However, even while living in a major US city such as Boston, everyday basic responsibilities such as school, work, and home life can still take up the better part of one's focus. Thus, our busy schedules can make it easy to overlook a lot of the beauty present in our surroundings of this expansive metropolis. One aspect that I love about living in such a vivid and diverse area as Boston is the seemingly never-ending variety of culture and the arts. A popular form of art present in Boston is public murals, often painted in plain sight spaces on the facades of buildings and infrastructure for public enjoyment and appreciation. Anthropologists Tim Sieber and Grasa Indias Cordero and sociologist Ligia Ferro argue that murals offer representations of local identities and their relation to urban space and community culture. Quite frankly, there is way more public art in Boston than I could possibly fit into just one video. Moreover, as someone who's only lived here for a few years now, I acknowledge my position as an outsider to many of the stories told by these works of art. Thus, I only seek to share through observation and light research a glimpse, a sliver, of the much broader wealth of public art found in Boston. The first mural I'd like to showcase is a piece titled Welcome to Columbia Point, located outside of McCormick Middle School in Dorchester. Painted in 2017, this piece shows highlights from the Columbia Point Peninsula such as buildings of the University of Massachusetts Boston, the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library, and the city's recreational waterfront, Boston Harbor Walk. It was funded by the City of Boston's Office of Civic Engagement through a mini-grant as part of their Love Your Block program. Sieber et al. Note that murals can play a visible role in countering the stigmatization of a neighborhood, such as that of Dorchester, historically one of the less well-to-do neighborhoods in Boston, along with making an attempt to bolster local self-esteem, especially among youth whose horizons are so defined by their neighborhoods. All across Boston, there are other neighborhoods, each with many more murals reflecting and symbolizing various types and aspects of communal pride, heritage, history, and visions. Similar to Dorchester, Roxbury is another major Boston neighborhood that has a history of economic and political disadvantages, culminating in trends of poverty, crime, and other social struggles. With attempts to reflect on past events and aim for a brighter future, several murals have sprouted around Roxbury. One example is Victor Marca 27 Quiñonez's piece, Love Thyself, depicting a portrait of a black woman in a meditative state. In an interview with WBUR's Amy Gurrell, the Mexican-born Quiñonez shared that all of his pieces focus on cultural celebration, particularly for black and brown individuals. Quiñonez states that he hopes his art inspires fellow people of color to embrace and celebrate their identity with pride, even despite any outside inhibitions. Other nearby murals of similar themes surrounding the lives of people of color include Rob Pro-Black Gibbs's Afrofuturism, Breathe Life 1, Thomas Burns's Black Inventors, and David Donrimek's Sepulveda's Powerful Knowledge. Elsewhere in Boston, examples of cultural themes appear in even more murals. Liliane Killen Rosenberg's 1979 Betances mural pays homage to the 19th century Puerto Rican patriot Ramon E. Betances, who led an independence uprising against the Spanish colonial government, as well as to Puerto Rican heritage at large. The mosaic encompasses a variety of intricate ceramic, painting, and texture work and is located on Tremont Street. It also honors the many Puerto Rican residents of Iquinos Boricua on Accion's Villa Victoria housing development, which arose out of late 1960s activism to prevent residential displacement. In the Chinatown neighborhood, there are a variety of art and murals. Many of these pieces reflect various aspects of Chinese heritage. One of these includes Brian Bayoung's 2019 Tale of an Ancient Vase, which symbolically references the tale of Emperor Shun, a legendary leader of China in the 23rd century BCE. In the Upham's Corner neighborhood of Dorchester, the Upham's Peace mural, located on Dudley Street, depicts another major theme noted by Sieber et al., that is, a celebration of peace, harmony, and solidarity across group lines in the neighborhood. This piece was painted in 2006 in response to an overwhelming abundance of gang violence, which Sieber et al. Argue tends to be more territory-based than culturally based, and consequent death and tragedy. Gang activity also primarily affects the youth of this area. This mural in particular was the result of peaceful collaboration by youth muralists of the two rivaling areas, those of Bird Street and Dudley Street. Such an effort reflects widely held notions and theories of the arts as a practical medium of healthy and productive youth development. Lastly, Sieber et al. Note that mural art is often a grassroots form of expression. At the same time, funding for projects, if any, varies in source, from crowdfunding to formal government-mediated commissions. The way these pieces come about can also range from spontaneous to carefully planned. One of the more organized spaces for mural art in Boston is the Underground at Inkblot, located on Traveler Street near Broadway Station. Underground at Inkblot is a public park described on its website as Boston's new urban playground that facilitates a myriad of events, recreation, and annual additions to its impressive multi-artist mural collection beginning in 2017. The various works of art are plastered along the concrete upholding several lanes of I-90 and I-93. I could probably do an entire video on this place alone, but that'd be for another day. With that, I'd like to reiterate just once more that there are many, many more murals and other public art in and around Boston. This documentary is not a comprehensive sociological study on the topic, but rather just a brief overview that hopefully encourages others to explore it further themselves. Having to focus on the mundane yet necessary tasks of day-to-day life is inevitable. While it's not uncommon for one's vision to tunnel sometimes, just try once in a while to get outside, look up, and take in the vibrant environment around you. See what beauty, talent, and stories you can find. I promise they're out there.